Greetings everyone, happy Monday, April 19th, 2010. Joseph James, welcome to your live trade room recap, schooltrade.com. Had a pretty good day in the room today, guys. If you're with us, we took one trade, nice big win on that one trade. If we talk about that though, I want to remind you guys about three important links here, guys. There are three important links on our YouTube page. If you're watching the video right now on the YouTube page, up in that right-hand corner, three links. One's for our track record, one's for our trial. Another one points to our blog. Hit that third link for our blog, guys. We just put a brand new video on the new slingshot pattern on the blog under the tutorial section, guys, so make sure you guys check that out. As you guys can see here, we took one trade today, 25 ticks, plus 4, plus 8, plus 9, 25 ticks. That brings our weekly total to 250 USD. Had a really challenging environment today. We'll talk more about that in a second. But as you guys can see, we took 25 ticks out of the market today, though. $5,800 for the month, and we are now over $30,000 here for the year of 2010 here so far. We'll keep you guys posted. What's the most important thing that happened today? Well, of course, Monday morning, we expect a slow start to a Monday morning. The big thing, though, was what happened over the weekend. Because we came in this morning, what did we see? We saw big sell-offs across the board. Gold's down, crude's down, Russell's down, Euro's down, pound's down, right? Everything's selling across the board. Now, it's important for us this morning, though, rather than trying to react or trying to predict what's going to happen next, we watch closely and watch the reaction. Remember this morning we were talking about on the pound and the euro, how we saw that big drop, and whenever we see that big drop, we always expect to see that kind of fluttering up in price action. But remember, that fluttering up in price action, what do we look for? Watch the big money. Okay, don't be fooled, guys, by the small traders out there pushing this thing around today. We saw a lot of that today coming off those lows. Look for the big money. The big money will tell you the direction. Even if you see at those lows big sellers, but then the price action flutters up with small buyers, that still means once those small buyers run out of steam, those big sellers are going to be sitting there waiting to push this thing back down again. So watch the big money. We also watch the dollar index futures to show us some direction for the day ahead. And don't forget to watch that first move of the day. The first move of the morning is going to give you kind of a taste of what's to expect. So on a Monday morning, a slow start, we had lots of stuff happening over the weekend, and because of that, caused the price action to drop. We wanted to come in this morning and really be careful not to try to predict and jump into that, without waiting to see where the big money was first. Let's take a look at the dollar here first, and this will kind of show you guys a little bit of where our concerns began this morning. Now, here in the dollar, both the dollar, of course, the dollar's on the left side, and then you've got the ATR and the dollar on the right side here. What I want to show you guys here, though, is something we noticed right away early this morning, and this really kind of kept us on our heels almost all morning this morning. Notice, first of all, here's your dollar index on the left, and then you've got your ATR, right, your range on the right. Now, what I want you guys to see here is at different times in the day what the ATR looked like, and this is where we began to pick up on this might be a more challenging environment than we originally thought. Here's the first clue. We opened up our chart this morning and we saw a trend up on the dollar. Okay, an upward trend on the dollar. Okay, now of course an upward trend on the dollar, that's probably why we saw everything else drop over the weekend. So the dollar rises, as you can see, and we saw, of course, this morning around 8 o'clock, right, we saw an uptrend on the dollar. Okay, so as of 8 o'clock, right, where this big yellow block in the middle is, that was up to 8 o'clock. So when we opened up our chart this morning, 8 a.m., what do we see? We saw a rising dollar trending up. That tells us we should be looking for other markets to be moving as well. We're very concerned, obviously, when we see the dollar going flat or being sideways. Now, that, of course, is good to get started with, uptrend on the dollar. But now let's compare that now, right? Now let's compare that now to the ATR. Now, at 8 o'clock this morning, at the ATR, down bottom here, here's 8 o'clock this morning. Now look where we were, coming down, sloping down, a downward moving ATR. So here at 8 a.m., we have an upward trend, but a downward moving ATR. Now, if you're scratching your head right now, going, but Joe, shouldn't that be the opposite? You're absolutely right. Why would the dollar be trending, but have a more consolidating, narrowing range? Well, I don't know either. Let's keep looking. Let's now fast forward now a couple hours. And this is where we really began to see, okay, something's up here today. Fast forward now to about 10:30, right? 10:30, here we go. And now you can see it by at 10:30 here, now we're trading sideways. Okay, so now at 10:30, what are we doing? Completely sideways. Flat trigger line, double tops and double bottoms. So 2.5 hours later, we're completely sideways now. So now the dollar tells us be very careful. But here's where, and if you guys were with us this morning, here's where I said, guys, something is up out there and we may not know what it is just yet. Look over here at the ATR now at 10:30. Now where are we? We've now gone from these lows at 8 a.m. on the ATR, now jumped all the way up here, and now we're testing highs on the ATR. Okay, extremely wide range here now. But as you can see, what's happening on my slower time frame chart? I'm sideways, I'm consolidated, I'm tucked underneath that double bottom, tucked above the double top. It's obviously a challenging spot to be trading. So this was one of those situations where there's smoke, there's fire. We never really know what causes the fire as day traders, right? Unless, of course, your uncle works for Goldman Sachs, right? You never really know what's going on behind the scenes there as day traders. We try our best, of course, but most of the time, though, we're going to be using this information to make educated decisions going forward. And how do we use this information? Well, this would be called divergence. One moving up, one moving down. As the price action consolidates, the ATR begins to rise. So as you can see, guys, this was a good heads up, and I want you guys to remember this for next time. When you see this happen, it's almost the opposite direction of where it should be going. That tells us be very careful out there. Now, I think what the real reason behind this was that the price action was not going to break above certain levels. But then because there was so much indecision going on and a little bit less liquidity, we saw the range really widen out. Okay, that's kind of my theory behind it. We'll talk more about that, though, tomorrow morning, live trade room, when we see this happen again. All right, guys, we also took one trade here. This is the first trade of the day. As you guys know, we watched the dollar index for a good heads up on direction, and then we watched the first move of the day to give us kind of a taste of what the rest of the day was supposed to be like. Well, this was nothing different here. In fact, this actually really gave us a great taste of the action for the rest of the morning here. At, of course, 9 o'clock here, first move of the day, we had just, of course, just gotten through the crude oil market open up. Short-term trend down. You'll see this red line here marked up 82.40. This is of course, my support level there. We break below 82.40, mark up our swing low, and there is your breaker short. If you guys are with us in the room, we were talking about how this was probably the most picture-perfect breaker short pattern we've seen in 3 weeks. We had a tremendous amount of big sellers. As you can see, follow me down here, momentum was overbought, and then it just curled and pointed over. We had nice strong speed, so everything lined up, almost picture perfect. Couldn't have asked for a better pattern. We know exactly what we're looking for there. We took our trade short here. 82.33 was the fill. We got our +4, our +8, and +9. 2 off at 4, 1 off at 8, and 1 off at 9. Totals 25 ticks or 250 USD. And if you guys are with us this morning, how do we manage that trade? We managed that trade by using our mechanical approach to manage the trade because we had green pace of the tape. So we knew what to look for to get into the trade. Most importantly, though, we then knew what to do once we got in that trade, how to manage it. What's pretty cool, though, we actually took the final profit target here right at the bottom there at 24s. We got taken out at 24 here for our final target, and you can see what happened. It completely reversed against us. It was actually a great situation this morning because it was the first trade of the morning. It was a perfect pattern, and we managed it, almost got every possible tick out of that move just before it reversed and went back up against us. So our trade management style, right on target. Our entry technique, right on target. And as always, the first trade of the morning here kind of gave us a little bit of excitement, right? We thought this might be a good sign. Didn't get anything else, though. We had a bunch of patterns, though, back-to-back patterns that simply didn't have things lining up. And, of course, we kept going back to watching that dollar up and down with the ATR, and it really gave us that sense of something just wasn't quite right there. All right, we were happy, though, of course, following our rules, taking the trades that fit into our rules. This was the only trade, of course, that fit into all of our rules today. We took it with confidence, and we make a bunch of money on it, 25 ticks or 250 USD. Only 4 contracts. Let's prep for tomorrow. Tomorrow's Tuesday, April 20th. Of course, 7:45, same store sales, 9:30 U.S. Open. We also have a free webinar tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, so make sure you guys come out and join us for that. And don't forget, we're going to come back and open up tomorrow, 7:45 a.m. Eastern Time here. We'll have a webinar tomorrow at 11:30, Tuesday and Thursday webinars. The beginner's course is always recommended for all you trial guests out there. The beginner's course is designed for trial guests. Our routines, our patterns, our rules, the markets we trade, our indicators we use, all covered in the beginner's course. And don't forget, the advanced course gives you guys lifetime access to our trade room, open code indicators, charts, and data. And for more information about advanced course membership, sales@schooloftrade.com. Hope the video helps. Hope you guys did well today in the room. We got more coming tomorrow. Don't miss a tick. Bye-bye for now.